All right. It says we are live here. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while. I don't think I've talked to you guys live YouTube show here since the day of the Phoenix race. A lot has changed in that time. Things kind of got hairy there. Coronavirus and such. Barely got back into Canada. I kind of put this, I wrote and put the link to my DFSR article on there. I just did a little bit of a personal update as well as a for NASCAR. Kind of want to talk about that a little bit today. We got a lot. News came out on Thursday. NASCAR is getting back on track. Really exciting news, for a couple of reasons. One, we haven't really had much of live sports in a while, so that's going to be good. Looks like my internet's lagging a bit, so I'm going to shut it off on all my other devices here. Give me just a couple seconds. Text my kid to shut her stuff off here. Should be good now. Yeah, so NASCAR is getting back on track. They announced two tracks, Darlington and Charlotte, are going to be the two tracks they're going to use here. Pretty exciting stuff going on there. And it's going to be chaos here soon with qualifying. So I'm just trying to shut off as many internet things as possible because I'm going to be doing about 7 things at once. So Sunday, May 17th, NASCAR back to Darlington, 400-mile race. That will be Sunday afternoon. And then Tuesday, the Xfinity Series in Darlington. It'll be a 200-mile race. And then Wednesday night, that Tuesday Xfinity race, that's also a night race. Wednesday, night race for Darlington. Second race in 4 days at Darlington, this time a night race. And the big thing here is that neither of these races is going to take over the Southern 500. They're still going to have the Southern 500, which is set to kick off the playoffs this year. So that's exciting news there as well. So we're going to get 3 Darlington races this year. Hopefully by playoffs, we maybe get some fans back in the stands. Going to be a little bit different watching races with empty stands, but I'll take anything right now. So after that trip to Darlington, they're going to go to Charlotte. Starting on that following Sunday. That's going to be the Coca-Cola 600. It's going to be an awesome race. That is going to be the only one of these races that we're going to talk about here on this first schedule that was released that's going to have qualifying. The rest are going to be set, I believe, by owner points. This year's owner points, there's only been 4 races, so they might dip back into last year's owner points. Not 100% on that yet, but either way, there's going to be only qualifying on track because these are all one-day events. They have to fit the regulations. No fans, one-day events, something like, stuff like that to stay safe. So Sunday, we get the Coke 600, 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Monday, we get the Xfinity race at Charlotte. That's a 300-mile race. That's a Monday night race. Tuesday night, we get a truck race, 200-mile truck race. And then Wednesday, we get another cup race at Charlotte Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So that is 7 races, but that's 3 cup, 2 Xfinity, and a truck race in there. We get that all within 10 days. 4 of those races are night races, actually 5 counting the Coke 600. Sorry, 6 actually, just because the Coke 600 starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we got a lot of night racing, a lot of midweek racing, so it's going to be crazy times. There's going to be a heck of a lot going on. So it'll be pretty interesting there. Nice to see that NASCAR's back on track for sure. So for fantasy bases, track history, last 10 races, each and every single track. Not that that all matters right now, but I have built some big databases that I will be using. I've split tracks into my own track types rather than using, some of the other sites. And some of those other sites I use and will still continue to use. I just wanted to create some stuff on my own. I just want to do a couple shout outs here. Fantasy Racing Cheat Sheet. They've redid their website if you've been on there before. Very awesome data. There's a lot of free stuff on there. You can get subscribe and you can get even more data. It's been really awesome tool. They've done a great job at updating that. I also use Driver Averages. It's a free site, so you can get a lot of data on that site as well in terms of track history, track type history, season history, driver history, pretty much anything you're looking for there. And then the other one that I really use a lot is Racing Reference. Another great site, going all the way back to the start of NASCAR, Xfinity, trucks, again, breaking it down by tracks, average finish, average run time, a whole bunch of data from those sites. have helped me kind of get to where I am with my sheets today. So definitely go check them out. Give them a shout out. Follow them on, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media outlets. Definitely go with that. Hey guys, Andre, let's get it. Yeah, Joe. I see you getting a little bit of lag again here. Sorry about that, everyone. There, I get off all the internet and all the phones. I mean, we have pretty terrible internet here to begin with, but we get a few people on my phone, kids' iPad, kids' phone, and things just. Anyways, where were we? Okay, we're going back to iRacing. So the big thing here is that qualifying starts in about 15 minutes at about 12:50 Eastern. That qualifying lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. It's big because place differential points is why it's really key. This is a place where we can really get an edge over some of the field, at least, who aren't really paying attention to this qualifying this last 10 to 15 minutes. So what we're going to do, there's three drivers. We got Preece, we got Bowman, and we got Corey LaJoie. They finished 1, 2, 3 last week. Not in that order, but they finished 1, 2, 3. So like last week, they will be starting at the back of the pack. 3 streams at once. Yeah, I'm watching Joe Man. I'm going to provide his Twitch here as well. If you want to watch, they're practicing right now on track. I've posted some screenshots of the leaderboards there. It will turn into the qualifying once the time comes. So if you want to follow along, Joe Man 252525 is definitely the man. Hit him up. I'm kind of watching that here. It's probably not helping this stream of my own here, but I want to get that, as close to information as possible, because we're going to have literally 10 to 15 minutes tops to go in and adjust our lineups once the qualifying order is in the RotoPros Slack chat and the DFSR chat, as well as my Patreon chat. I'm going to post the screenshots of the starting order. I'm going to try and update the sheet as fast as possible. I can't guarantee it's going to be fully updated, with tons of time. I do have 3 lineups on DraftKings, 1 on FanDuel. I can't do more than that as I'm updating the sheet and handling 3-4 chats, including Twitter as well. So I'm going to try and do it as fast as possible. You're probably going to see me panic here a little bit. It's going to be probably a good YouTube video, but ready to hit it. So yeah, place differential is big. So for instance, just for example, I had someone asking me, why is it big? Well, if you have a driver who starts 30th and finishes first, he gets 29 bonus points on top of the points he gets for finishing first, the fast laps he gets, and laps led. So if vice versa, if a driver starts first and finishes 30th, he's losing 29 points in place differential. So if you go ahead and lock in a lineup now without knowing qualifying, and one of your drivers ends up not starting at the back, or starting, even outside the top 20, ends up starting top 5, but isn't maybe a good iRacer or hasn't put out the good results, and maybe looking at a 15th to 20th place finish, you're going to lose points. That's the same for real NASCAR. If you get a guy that maybe over qualifies, you definitely don't want to be using him, especially on DraftKings where it's a full point for place differential. That's half the points on FanDuel. So that's going to be a spot where you can, rely a little bit less on the place differential. But I mean, on a normal weekend in normal NASCAR, we're getting qualifying on Saturday with a race on Sunday, or, a Saturday night race. Even if qualifying Saturday afternoon, we've got 3-4 hours. Even with Xfinity, which week to week is very hectic, we're getting 2 to 2.5 to 3 hours of time from the time qualifying information comes in to lock. So this is absolutely insane. Anyone that's playing this, just raise your hand that you've gone insane, especially if this isn't your first week doing this, just simply because, like I said, you're going to get 10 to 15 minutes to set your lineups here. It just gets real crazy. But, it does give us an edge. Like I said, I mean, if you've got even 40% of the field in these big contests, like I'm just going to bring up DraftKings here now. I am playing the $3 3 max as well as the $3 20 max. I'm going to try and get more lineups in. I doubt I'm going to get more than my 3 in that 20 max. Got some single entries in there as well with those 3 lineups. Just trying to keep it to the least amount of having to edit possible in that last 5 to 10 minutes. I wish I had more time, to enter 20 max in there. So the other thing to keep and pay attention to today, very, very important, is DraftKings has already announced, like if you're in a contest right now, at the very top of the page, it says qualifying is expected to take place at 12:50 Eastern. DraftKings may adjust the start time, which means they might move lineup lock back if for some reason qualifying isn't finished yet. We've seen this. This was, I think it was Bristol, maybe Richmond, because there was a break between Richmond and Talladega. So I think it was Richmond where they did this. They pushed it back 3 times. So original lock was, say, 1 o'clock. Then they moved it back to 1:15, and then 1:20, and then 1:25 or something like that. Either way, they moved it back 3 times. So you got to keep refreshing. There's a lot to pay attention to here in a very short amount of time. But like I said, if you're playing DFS, you're always looking for an edge. This is our edge in this particular sport. Kind of like NBA, your edge can come in that last 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. Mostly the last half an hour. Reporting's been getting a little bit better for sure. This is it for us with this iRacing stuff. This is where we gain a little bit of an edge. I mean, we don't have practice times. We do. Like, for instance, watching this practice stream right now, Ryan Preece has been the fastest the whole time. Joe Mann has been talking. He's got a good short run car, but the fact that he's automatically starting at the back because of a top 3 finish last week, it almost makes him a lock. He's got a super fast car here. Even if it is only a short run car, we only need like a top 15 finish out of Preece for him to hit value. A top 10 would be phenomenal. A top 5 would be just excellent. He would crush value. So watching some of this practice does make a lot of sense. William Byron sitting 5th, it looks like right now. I'm really liking him from we don't know where he's qualifying yet. He's one of the best he probably is the best iRacer out there, especially among the NASCAR crowd. He's 13K this week, so he's very expensive. He's 16K on FanDuel, which isn't a problem for me. There's multiple punt plays that I like. But on DraftKings, it's a little closer. I think a lot of people will go towards Preece, Bowman, and LaJoie because they're automatically starting at the back. They're getting that place differential. I like the pivot to a driver that's almost 2,000, a little over 2,000 more than all of them. I think he may be a little bit lower on because of that price, especially people making lineups early. Not even if they do use them, they may jam in some punt plays without knowing qualifying and really hurt their chances with their Byron lineups. Whereas we're going to be paying attention. I'm hoping that Brendan Poole, looks like he's got a fast car, so I'm not concerned yet. Looks like he's maybe in a crash in practice too, so I'm not really sure. This is why qualifying is so important, because if Poole and Joey Gase both qualify let's say outside the top 20, I'm locking them in with Byron. Poole was 7th in his only iRace last week. I mean, just that price. You look at FanDuel, he's 8K. He's under 6K on DraftKings. So I just really like that. He's 25 to 1 to win on the odds, and that's betonline.ag, I believe it is, where those odds came from. I got them from the NASCAR site. So, I mean, right there, that just tells me that Vegas has put in chances of him winning high. He's cheap, and, he looks like he's got a fast car. So if he starts outside even top 15, I'm probably locking him in. Gase is more of a FanDuel play for me, depending on qualifying. With qualifying, he's a FanDuel play for me. If he qualifies back in the pack, he's going to be a DK play for me at 5,600. He's 40 to 1 to win, which is right there on average. But there are guys that are more expensive who have worse odds. In particular, Jimmy Johnson, 80 to 1. Ryan Blaney, 66 to 1. Austin Dillon is a little bit cheaper, 200 cheaper, but he's 80 to 1. So I do like Gase. He started 28th at Talladega last week, finished 20th. So that was good to see that he finished the race, got a top 20 finish. For a punt price, I'll take that 20th place finish again, provided he starts a little bit back in the field. But at 3K, I will even take, if he starts 15th and finishes somewhere 15th to 20th, I'll even take that as a 3K on FanDuel, because I was able to build lineups with 3 of Byron, Preece, Bowman, LaJoie, and Tyler Reddick, who I also like as well. So if you're on the sheet right now, where can you watch practice runs? Right above where you just typed that is a Twitch link, www.twitch.tv/joeman252525. He streams it all on Twitch. So definitely check that out. And then they're practicing right now for, looks like, another 7 minutes, and then qualifying is going to start. He'll just flip right over to that qualifying, and you can kind of watch there. Oh, no problem on the updates. I've been wanting to do live shows again. I'm trying to get this more and more organized. I've been doing a lot of League of Legends. I built sheets for that. That was one of the main ones. Shout out to Kenny once again, Kenny and Dane. Kenny got the League of Legends going. He's been absolutely crushing it for us over at Roto Pros. Dane over at Roto Pros as well. He's been doing, the Mexican soccer, all the other stuff that's been coming up. He's been having success at League of Legends. The iRacing, he's really taken on as well. And then together we've been doing Outlaw Golf / the Golden State Tour golf as well for DFS. So I've been very, very busy. Haven't been able to get everything going. Just trying to, stay afloat for now. With this stuff, so I can continue to do this as sports start to come back. So now that things are I've kind of got a good game plan. I've got sheets operating, almost at where I want them, I guess you could say. I've decided to get back to live shows. So I'm hopefully going to be doing, 2 or 3 a week, along with some pre-recorded shows with some other people as well. So stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Head over to the RotoPros YouTube channel as well. You can like or subscribe to them as well. We'll be doing a lot of shows with Dane, hopefully with Kenny over there as well. So it looks like qualifying, we've got about 7 minutes, and qualifying is going to get underway. Like I said, it's going to be very hectic here for about 20, 25 minutes. Hopefully the qualifying goes quick, so we have a little bit extra time to adjust our lineups. Like I said, I'm only playing 3 on DraftKings, 2 lineups on FanDuel, actually. Kind of going against what I always say, entering multi-enter contests with just a couple lineups, but the contest selection really wasn't that great over on FanDuel, at least this morning when I went over there. So I just jumped in that $5.55 with 2K to first, and going to put a couple lineups in there. And like I said, I made a dummy lineup, and with Gase, I was able to just absolutely load up. I was able to get 2 of the 3 that are starting at the back because of last week with William Byron in there. So really liking my lineup on FanDuel, and not sure I'll even be adjusting it a whole bunch either. So huge shout out. Personally, I really appreciate the support from all of my patrons. Some tough times. I know there was no sports there for a week or 2. It looked like things were going to get really terrible. I did get some League of Legends coming. I know a lot of you never even heard of League of Legends or played it before. Either had I. We kind of learned together, so I appreciate you sticking around. And for anyone that maybe had to leave, I definitely don't blame you whatsoever if you don't play League of Legends. Paying for a service that isn't really helping you at all. But for those of you that maybe had to leave, I'm going to be back with NASCAR sheets. Like I said, PGA is coming back soon as well. Hopefully NHL and NBA, maybe into mid-June, July, they finish their seasons and have sheets for those. NFL's still on schedule to start on time. So going to have that up and running. I'm really going to try and keep League of Legends sheets going. The iRacing, there won't be a Pro Invitational anymore because NASCAR will be back. But if DraftKings does any iRacing, I might jump into that as well. Pretty much just trying to do anything I can, to help you guys out in any of the DFS sports that you do play. Experience with iRacing. Now, I'm not 100% on which drivers, are complete. Obviously, William Byron is the most experienced. That's kind of how he got into Kyle Busch. Ended up finding him and putting him in a truck back in the day. It's not even that long ago. Kid's still young. But from the iRacing circuit, that's where kind of Kyle and Kyle Busch Motorsports really plucked him from. Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley. I guess, to know which guys really have experience, I would say just look at the price. DraftKings has kind of got that priced out with the guys that are really good, like Hill and Smithley, Ryan Preece. Denny Hamlin's been really good at it as well. And I've also got, we've got a 5-race sample size now, so definitely go look at my sheet. And as I have start, finish, place differential, laps led, and DraftKings scoring for all those races that have been up for this Pro Invitational. They are posted with average finishes, total laps led. Byron's led 327 laps. No one in those races has led over 70. Ryan Preece is second with 68. In terms of DraftKings scoring over those 5 races, I'm going to sort the sheet here and look at your leaders. So you got William Byron, because he's led a shit ton of laps. Before Talladega, he led 94, 116, 80, and 28, all race highs in those 4 races. And then we got Preece, LaJoie, Bowman, Smithley, Kligerman, Poole, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch. Those are your top 10 in DraftKings scoring through the first 5 iRace Pro Invitational events. Value is really going to depend on qualifying here, but like I said, if Brendan Poole and Joey Gase qualify outside the top 15, Poole is definitely going to be a lock for me outside the top 15 starting position. Gase, I'm going to need him to qualify back a bit for DraftKings, but a little bit less for FanDuel because he's only $3K, absolute minimum price. I definitely like that. Ty Dillon down there. The sheet likes Eric Almirola, but he's only got a 1-race sample size, so that's going to depend on qualifying, but I'll definitely look at him if he's starting back in the pack. Ty Dillon, like I said, Eric Almirola, Joey Gase, Brendan Poole. Those are 4 under 6,500 that I'm looking at. Possibly Ross Chastain before the Talladega race where he started 3rd, finished 29th. He started 19th, finished 13th at Richmond, started 20th, finished 16th at Bristol. So he had 2 pretty good races, picked up positive place differential on both. 38 and 32.5 fantasy points in those for DraftKings scoring. So I'll definitely look at Chastain where he qualifies here as well. So I'm just going to highlight those guys on the sheet just for reference. Keep in mind in that last 5 to 10 minutes, these highlighted plays in the sheet will change. The only 3 that will not change, Priest, Bowman, and LaJoie. So we got on his countdown here, looks like we got about a minute and a half to go before qualifying starts. Then it's time to get ready for some craziness. Wesley, if you use an optimizer, pretty much what you can do is just take my picks that I'm going to highlight and put them as your player pool in whatever optimizer you use, and then just hit calculate. I personally don't know of anyone that has an optimizer. I think Roto Grinders with Stevie TPFL, I believe, is running. So you could definitely use that over at Roto Grinders. I think you can get a 1-week pass. His product is elite. When I started out doing DFS, jumped into NASCAR, Stevie was one of my first follows. I really like his stuff. I don't usually, shout out other sites and stuff, but he is tremendous. So if you want a really good optimizer, that's one that I know of that's out there. And like I said, if you use it, you can either use his core or combination or my core. So you could take my picks on the sheet, like I said, lock them into his optimizer, hit optimize, then there's your plays. You can also, I believe, set your exposure. So if you want 80% exposure to driver A, 60% exposure to driver B, 30% exposure to driver C, and so on, you can do that, and you can really play with a lot of settings with that as well. I don't really like the guy's attitude on Twitter. Kind of turned me away. I've heard his product is really good. So that's awesome. But I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really help you there. But I'm sure it would be the same if he has iRacing. Would just take my drivers and lock them into your player pool. Joe likes as well. Subscribe to him. Definitely shouting him out because he's helped me a ton just having this information. All right. So no one's got a completed lap yet. I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible. I'm going to go full screen on. I'm literally doing this on 3 screens right now. I got my 60-inch screen. I got my laptop connected also to a external, about a 30-inch screen. So I'm trying to keep the Twitch stream on big. I'm trying to keep the chat on one side, but then I've got also, other chats on the go here as well. So bear with me. Definitely for the most accurate, watch the Twitch stream. So right now we've got, they're coming in hot and heavy here. Their laps. We don't really get to see much of the laps, like someone's doing a burnout on the Twitch stream right now, but watch on the left-hand side. You're going to want to watch that qualifying there. So what I'm going to do is, once we get a clear view of what's going on with who qualifies where, I'm going to screenshot the qualifying order that pops up, the same that you're going to see on the Twitch screen. I'm going to put that in the chats first. I'm going to update the sheet. And then, as this comes on, I'm going to talk about kind of the picks and stuff. So they're going to try and invert the top 10, but I believe DraftKings is still going to score from where they qualify. But as you see it, like right now, Landon Cassill's in the number 1 position. If it ended now, he would actually start 10th Chad Fincham, who's in the 10 position, would start first. So they're just going to invert that top 10. They tried to do it last week. There were some issues. They didn't end up doing it. It doesn't affect us. It does a bit affect us, I guess, for fantasy. But for place differential scoring, it will stay the same as they do it. Hamlin is in first right now. He just came across with his first lap. William Byron in second. Love seeing Byron that fast in his qualifying lap. Makes me like him even more right now. I'm probably going to change him to a core play. So bear with me here. It looks like qualifying is going to be over. I don't know if I can paste screenshots. I can't there. So I'll post that in the chats. It's 1st to 20th right now. I'm going to update the sheet. Yes, need place differential. I am going for probably 2 of those guys at the back. Is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm going to try and get a screenshot of 20th and back. So just bear with me here. Just posting this. That's 20th and back. And then I need 31st and back. And then I'm going to update the sheet. And it looks like we've got about 15 minutes here. All right. So I just want to get it updated on the sheet, and then we will we'll talk about some plays and stuff like that. So I'm just going to put like Denny Hamlin right now. I am going to hide some stuff in the sheet just to make it much more easy to see what's going on. I'm going to put Hamlin as first right now, just because I'm almost positive DK will, even though they are going to invert, like Hamlin probably start 10th, Chastain will start first. DK, as of last week anyway, and I could be wrong on this, so someone pitch in if they know different, but 6 is LaJoy. Oh, so LaJoy was out there running qualifying lap, but he is starting. Yeah, see. I thought LaJoy wasn't supposed to qualify. So I'm really trying to find that now. Core plays updated on the sheet. Priest, Bowman, LaJoy. I'm just confused here why LaJoy ran a qualifying lap. I'm going to just look at this number here. And out the NASCAR site. Yeah, first of all, your core plays LaJoy, Bowman, Priest, and Byron at the top. Those are the 4 that I want the most exposure to. Priest, Bowman, and LaJoy starting at the back because of top 3 finishes last week. And then Byron, just because I think he can get out front and dominate this race in terms of laps led. Chastain is kind of off my radar starting up front. Looking at guys near the back, who's 34th, with those guys going to the back. It'll be outside top 30, so definitely like Reddick. He's going to be there for me. We've also got Almirola 27th. I will take that at 5,300 on DraftKings. Brennan Poole 28th. Yep, definitely like him. Going to put him in as a core play. Joey Gase 24th. I'd love that. Even more GPP for DK. Love it on FanDuel still at only 3,000. Bowman at the back, of course. Regan Smith, Kurt Busch. I think you can consider Kurt Busch starting that far back. So everything's updated on the sheet now. Gase and Poole. Poole is... Yep, Poole's starting 28th. So I highlighted him green now. Gase, everything is updated on the sheet, so definitely check that out. Like I said, those 4 guys at the top, and I'm going to be mixing those 4 guys at the top pretty much with Tyler Reddick, Brennan Poole. Those are going to be core guys, and then just outside my core, going to be Labonte, Kurt Busch, Ty Dillon, Joey Gase, and Eric Almirola. Ty Dillon starting 25th. Probably, yeah, it's more of a GPP play, so blue's going to be like my secondaries. Looking for Labonte starting position here. Why can't I find Bobby Labonte? $14th. Yeah, I'm taking him off. You can use him for GPP. I mean, a little bit better on FanDuel at 6,300, but I love Tyler Reddick today. So Reddick, Poole, Priest, Bowman, you could build a very balanced lineup with. You could even go Byron instead of one of Bowman or Priest. So lots of ways to go there for sure. So I'm going to go about another 5 minutes here, and then I'm going to go finishing my lineups now that I've got this up. Yeah, just answering some questions there. Thoughts about Denny. Okay, so he qualified first. You know, unless he dominates the whole thing, which I personally don't see. I'm not going to get this updated, the qualifying order on the sheet. I can't find an initial one. So definitely just use the screenshots that I provided in the chats for that. Just because I know that LaJoie is going to be starting 6th because he finished top 3 last week. He's starting from the rear. That moves everybody up, and then you've got others in there. And I can't get the official starting spot right now. It's just not loading for me at the moment. So I apologize for that, but the screenshots in chat are very, very important. And the plays that I highlighted, that is my core. If you're new to this, you can't find the starting positions, you can't find whatever, use my core plays. They're on the sheet. Green are the guys I'm going with first. Yellow are the value plays I'm mixing in. And blue are some GPP plays that I am working into my lineups here as well. So I see your question there. Just give me a second. You asked about Kyle Busch, Landon Cassill. I am not going to be using Denny Hamlin. Just looking at the races for Hamlin, he's got good place differential when he started from the back. He started 9th, finished 1st. He only led 14 laps. That was way back at Homestead. I see Byron as the dominator, so getting a Hamlin, unless you think Hamlin dominates the laps led, I think Byron does. He's just a lot better iRacer, so I'd rather pay up for Byron. As for Landon Cassill, I am off. He's going to be starting top 5. I don't think he dominates, so I don't want any piece of him. Kyle Busch is starting. Kyle Busch is starting 22nd, so somewhere give or take 1 or 2 spots there. Probably going to get moved up a little bit because of that, maybe 20th. I do like him for GPP. He's probably going to be, I'm looking at his price here, 9,100 with LaJoie cheaper than him, Reddick cheaper than him, and then Bowman and Priest not that much more expensive, about 900 to 1,000 to 1,500 more. I think Kyle Busch might come in a little bit lower owned, and he's got an 8th and a 5th place finish in his last 2 iRaces after being terrible to start this whole thing in 3 in a row. So I think he could be a nice GPP pivot there for sure. So I'm going to refresh DraftKings and just see if they've done anything interesting here in terms of lineup lock, because I have not touched mine yet. 6 minutes. Okay, I've got 6 minutes to go do my lineups. I thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to be doing a pre-recorded show, looking at some Darlington stuff with the real racing coming up, and then next week's iRacing event. Probably going to be the last one. I'm not even sure where it is or anything, but I'll get that information. And if there is, I will do another live show like this, and we will crush it together. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. And like I said, if you have any more questions, hit me up on Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. Hit me up on my Patreon, patreon.com/JaegerBombs, rotopros.com, at rotopros on Twitter, and at dailyfantasysportsrankings.com, at DFSR on Twitter. It's actually at dailyfantasysr on Twitter, Thank you very much. Good luck today, everyone. Let's crush it.